YouTube, how we doing, family? It's your boy, yo! And this is another episode of the Ballpark Show. We go through every MLB game every day. Today's Wednesday, July 9th, and we have a 15-game MLB card. I'm a little under the weather right now, so I'm going to have a similar format as yesterday. I've got 5 games that I see value in, so I'll walk you through my thoughts on those, and I'll have one highlighted play of the day. I also have 3 player props at the end, so stick around. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's recap. Recapping yesterday, we went 2-0. We cashed both of our highlighted plays of the day. First, we took the Pittsburgh Pirates and Kansas City Royals under 8 runs. We got it for minus 110 odds. It got a little sticky in the 8th inning. It was 3-3, so I was kind of hoping it wouldn't go to extra innings. Sure enough, the Royals walked it off in the 9th to end it 4-3 KC. Next, we took the Oakland Athletics on the money line against the Atlanta Braves. We got this one for minus 102 odds. The Braves were too nonchalant about their pitching decision, fielding Didier Fuentes, and I told you guys they'd pay the price. Oakland lit them up for 9 runs in the first 2 innings, and the rest was history. The Braves' offense been non-existent. In terms of player props, we went 2 for 3 yesterday. Let's keep that momentum rolling, and without further ado, let me get into today's games. In our first matchup of the evening, we have the Tampa Bay Rays in Detroit taking on the Detroit Tigers. Tigers are minus 152 on the money line, and the total is 8.5 runs. On the mound, we have Zach Littell going for Tampa, and we have Reese Olson going for Detroit. These are 2 really good starting pitchers. Reese Olson has missed some time in the lineup, but he still has exceptional expected numbers combined with a 2.89 ERA. Zach Littell's also been a solid option for the Rays, though. He's 7-7 with a 3.5 ERA. Both teams have proficient bullpens, but for me, this comes down to both offenses overproducing compared to their expected numbers. In the last 30 days, these have been 2 of the top 5 offenses in the league, but their expected numbers have the middle of the pack from behind the plate. That being said, I think we're due for some sizable regression from both sides. I like both pitching rotations, and I think we stay under this total. We're taking the Rays and Tigers under 8.5 as our first selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Philadelphia Phillies in San Francisco taking on the San Francisco Giants. Phillies are minus 131 on the money line, and the total is 8 runs. On the mound, we have Jesus Luzardo going for Philly, and we have Justin Verlander going for San Francisco. I can't say I fully trust either of these offenses, but Philly does have the slightly better numbers over the last 30 days. Verlander is 0-6. He hasn't got the run support on top of mediocre outings, but the Giants do have great numbers head-to-head against Luzardo. That makes it tough. Almost everyone in the lineup has faced him before, and they're all batting above 250. Rather than taking a side, I'm personally looking at the total. Verlander's definitely giving up a couple runs, but I also think Luzardo gets hit. I like both of these bullpens, so we're isolating this one to the first 5. We're taking the Phillies and Giants over 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Miami Marlins in Cincinnati taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Reds are minus 144 on the money line, and the total is 8.5 runs. On the mound, we have Sandy Alcantara going for the Marlins, and we have Andrew Abbott going for Cincinnati. Abbott has been on a tear. He's 7-1 with a 2.15 ERA, one of the most consistent starting pitchers in the league. Sandy's definitely had his struggles this season, and the expected numbers don't get much better. Problem is, I don't tend to back this Reds offense. They rank 26th in the league from behind the plate over the last 30 days, and at most, I think we see something like a 4-1 Reds win. I do lean towards Cincy on the run line, go get you some plus money, but personally, I have to take that under. The Marlins bats have been hot, but Abbott should cancel that out. Then I think Sandy can keep us competitive enough to stay under this total. I typically don't prefer totals over sides, but that's just how I have this one playing out. We're taking the Marlins and Reds under 8.5 as our next selection of the evening. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates in Kansas City taking on the Kansas City Royals. Royals are minus 192 on the money line, and the total is 8.5 runs. On the mound, we have Bailey Falter going for Pittsburgh, and we have Chris Bubich going for KC. This is a decent pitching matchup, but I still give the edge to KC. Bubic has been exceptional with a 2.36 ERA, and his expected numbers suggest he's capable of keeping this up. Falter's been a solid option. 6-4 is impressive with the Pirates, but that's still not an offense I can back. The Royals have started to put up runs. They got 4 last night, 9 the day before, 4 the day before that. If you're able to score 4 runs, you're covering the run line against the Pirates. Bubic on the mound only makes this one sweeter. We're taking the Royals laying 1.5 runs as our highlighted selection of the evening. Let's move. In our last and final matchup of the evening, we have the Atlanta Braves taking on the Oakland Athletics. This one will be in Sutter Health Park. The Braves are minus 122 on the money line, and the total is 10.5 runs. On the mound, we have Bryce Elder going for Atlanta, and we have Mitch Spence going for the A's. As much crap as I was talking on the Braves offense yesterday, I still believe in their long-term success. I'm not even saying they're necessarily a lock for the playoffs. I mean, they're 39-51, but I do think they have the capacity to score a lot of runs. Their pitching staff is another story, but their offense is explosive enough to keep them in most games. I don't even know if they win this game, but I do know a lot of runs are being scored. Elder's been a disappointment himself, and the expected numbers don't get much better. I think we see batting practice from both sides. The total is set high at 10.5 for a reason, and I think we see 5-5 by the 6th inning. We're taking the Braves and A's over 10.5 as our last and final selection of the evening. All right, guys, let's get into the props. I got 3 that I really like for today. First, we're taking Elly De La Cruz of the Cincinnati Reds to get 1 run or RBI. The Reds have the clear pitching advantage against the Marlins, and Elly does an elite job of getting on base and advancing to scoring position. Next, we're taking Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles over 1.5 bases. Despite having a down year in terms of home runs, Gunnar's still been surprisingly effective getting on base. That shows me he's still locked in, and we're going to find a ton of value on the back end of this cold stretch. Finally, we're taking Trey Turner of the Philadelphia Phillies to get 1 run or RBI. 2+ bases is definitely in play too. The man's on an 8-game hitting streak, and he hasn't got a run or RBI in his last 3 games. Even if he gets walked, we're in a good position with Schwarber, Bryce Harper, and Bohm right behind him. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We're off to a good start. Let's keep that momentum rolling and get back in that win column today. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, yo! And until the next one, I'm going to catch y'all. Peace.